Good morning, everybody. Joe Chacho here. Happy Monday to everybody. Heather and I were out of town last Thursday and Friday, so we didn't have a call. So my apologies there. Has people call up and we kind of ruined their routine schedule. So my apologies to everybody. So today what I want to do, just kind of tap on a couple things. Bringing on a lot of new agents. I've got a lot of agents that want to do a lot, but they want to do it quick. They want to get it, go out right, which I think I got no problem with it. Well, here's what's happening. They're not realizing that there's a learning curve you have to go through. No matter who you're going to work for, no matter if you work for a water softener company, a roofing company, a plumbing company, it doesn't matter what you do, regardless if it's sales or doing the mechanics about it, there's a basis that you have to know, and then from there you kind of pivot left to right to move forward. So what happens is that we just don't realize that every champion was once a contender that never refused to give up. Okay? So by having the eye of the tiger, having the desire to do better, having the goals set, I think is a fantastic thing to have. Yet you got to have the tools to where you can make those goals work out. And this is something I saw when Heather and I were traveling. And it says, rock bottom will teach you lessons that mountaintops never will. Okay? When you're climbing up that ladder and you're learning and you're learning and you're remembering, you're learning and you're going left, you're pivoting right, the things you're going to learn climbing up that ladder and you put into the old memory bank, what's going to end up happening is that's what is going to allow you to take yourself to a different level when it comes to sales. So, you come in here working with another IMO, working with another insurance carrier, you got to understand that the old ways do not open up new doors. Now, what I mean by old ways is that if you have an application process that, let's sit and say, blood thinners were modified, you need to kind of sit and say, I need to know and remember how to close the sale, overcome objections, work a schedule, work my plan. Yet when it comes to underwriting with the carriers that we have, it's different than other carriers. Other carriers could be the same, but yet is different. So there's something we have in the back office called the Carrier Placement Guide. I'm asking you guys to either print it out and keep it with you or put it on your iPad or your laptop to where when you're in a home with a client and you're unsure where to put the client at, you got these things labeled, ready to go. Now, the only way for anybody to adhere to a goal, to stick to a goal, is that you got to have a vision. You got to have an end. But yet what ends up happening, a lot of people want to jump from here all the way to here, and when they don't do that, they get all upset with themselves. And they say, man, I'm a failure. I'm not going to work it out. This business is not for me. It's too hard. So what I'm asking you to do is kind of do what I call like the ladder effect. Kind of have just little different goals set for you to where you can get higher up on that ladder with an end vision of what you want to do. To me, an end vision should be an annual premium. What do you want to do for annualized premium on a monthly basis? You just start off, really haven't done this for a long time. You've got a couple goals that you can meet for the week or the month. Either you can say, I'm going to do 2,000 annualized premium. I'm going to do 4 applications. I'm going to do 12,500 annualized premium. I'm going to do 15 applications. So my thought is to have a couple different goals that you can attain within your main goal for the week or the month. What ends up happening is that we get ourselves set up. We go out on Monday. We make no sales, and what we automatically do is blame something. We don't blame anything on ourselves. I don't care who you are, your mind's got to be set when you're door knocking. If you're door knocking a house, you've got a paper lead with you, you got a Facebook lead, you have a phone lead, you have a referral lead. Your mind has got to be set that today is the day. Understanding that every door you knock on, they're not going to answer. Every presentation, every pitch you make, they're not going to buy, which is probably one of the hardest things for me to absorb in my mind, because I know I'm touching the points. I know I'm going a little bit slower. I know I'm doing voice inflection. I'm looking them in the eye. I'm not interrupting them. So you can have your A game on, and sometimes they're just not going to buy. Yet you can't get upset with yourself. The more times you start doing this here, and the more times you start tweaking your presentation, and you start looking at what you're doing, and you record yourself. Bring your phone in there, record yourself so you can hear what you sound like. What ends up happening is that you think you're making a great presentation, you think you're overcoming the rebuttals, the rejections, you think the transitions you're doing are fantastic. When you record yourself, you're going to listen to sit and say, yep, I did that good, I did that awesome, I didn't do it that good last week, but I've gotten better at it, yet I still need some help on this here. And what it's going to do is that is going to motivate you to get better in certain areas, and what that does is that's going to increase everything. So if you sit and think, if you break your presentation down, everybody breaks it down into 5 sections, 7 sections, 10 sections. Break it down into the door knock, the company in the house, the warm up, the transition, the presentation, asking for referrals, going over some different ideas, doing something when they say something, the cool down, the close, the go back, whatever, as many as you want. Break it down into sections. And from there, work on each section individually. Because just because you can get into a house doesn't mean to know that you know the RX. Just because you know how to make a close doesn't really mean that you know how to look at an application to know what somebody qualifies for. So you need to sit and break everything down separately. And you want to master each one separately. So if you sit and break it down into 10 parts, okay? And let's say each part you put is 10%. That you're not going to make 100% on the door, your full 10% because you just started. You're not going to make a full 10%, which is 100% in the category of knowing the application. So what I'm going to recommend you to do is that you base it on you. I've never knocked on a door before, put that at a 1. Give yourself a break, put it at a 1. I've never sold insurance before, put the presentation, put it like at a 1 for the mere fact is you made presentations before. So when you start writing this stuff down and you start keeping score, keeping track of what you're doing, what's going to end up happening, you're going to start having these numbers rise. So when your 1 goes to a 3, your 1 goes to a 2, your 1 goes to a 4, all these numbers start rising, rising, rising. What you're going to see is that you're learning each individual spot on its own. And by being able to do that there, it's going to start giving you more levels of confidence, because the mere fact is that, let's say for example, you know how to get in the door, you know where to sit, you know how to make a presentation, you know how to close, yet your weakness, the part you're having problems on, is the application. Learning the medication, learning how to read what the application is saying. 1 year look back, 2 year look back, 3 year look back, 4 year look back. By not knowing that there, you can be fantastic in all the other things, but you know, the old days, years and years ago, you always have a weak link in the chain. So if you break your chain down to your 10 sections of your life of being an insurance agent, specializing in final expense, and you know that there's a weak link there, every time you get to it, you're going to do a hiccup and you're going to bounce, and what's going to happen, it could prevent you from making a sale. You still can make sales because some people may just want it. Those are called laydowns. Yet, by recording yourself and listening to what you're saying, how you're saying it, how you're coming across to somebody, you're going to sit and visualize yourself in front of that person, and then from there what you're going to do is you're going to sit and say, I'm talking a little too fast. I'm not using proper inflection to get my point across. I interrupted her. When she asked me a question, I kind of dilly-dallied around it because I didn't know the answer. What answer can I have? So if you were to break each section down, like let's say the rebuttals, I can't afford it, you can't use my checking account. So you got to have your sections, and then within those sections, you got to have little subsections to where you know where to fall. A lot of times when we go to a house, we get a little bit nervous.
We think we know everything. We feel we know everything. And there's been people that have thrown me curveballs and knuckleballs, and it just frazzles my brain. I'm going, God, I know how to answer this question. Every now and then you go blank. So every now and then it's kind of smart to have like a little cheat sheet with you. So if you know that your weakness is overcoming objections, and you're unsure what to say when they say you can't use my checking account, I don't want to buy today, I don't have the money, I can't afford it, I gotta go to the doctor. When you have that paper in front of you, written in small little letters, the people can't read upside down. What you're gonna do, you're gonna take a little look down there, make like you're thinking about something, and go, okay, now I know what to say. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna keep you on track. Because what happens is that you gotta keep your mind focusing that you're going to keep going from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, and you're going to stay within the parameter, you're going to stay within a straight line. You don't want to veer off the interstate too far to the left, because what's going to end up happening, now to come back on, you got all that gravel, the bumpy road, you come up to a dip in the road. What's happening, you're going to start making hiccups, and sometimes you can't get yourself back on. Yet you have to learn how to. Times you veer to the right, you're going to get all the interstate, you say, my God, I just totally messed up. What do I got to do? Well, you got to find the next entrance, and you got to get yourself back on. To get yourself back within that straight line. Sometimes people may not even realize that you're going out in left field or right field, but yet in my mind, I know I am. So I got to bring myself back. I take a step back, slow myself down. I think. I refresh myself. Take a couple deep breaths. You can kind of put your hand over your mouth. And take a couple deep breaths, and it looks like you're yawning. But what you're doing, you're bringing oxygen into your brain. You're getting that brain stimulated because you know what you got to say. People give me a damn left hook before. I'm saying, where did that come from? But every now and then you're going to get caught and pushed off balance, and you got to know how to move yourself back forward. Okay? Now, let's start with this here. Old ways will not open up new doors. If you know you have not done this properly, working with somebody else, you know you have not done this to the utmost of your ability, understand the only way to get better is that you got to close that door and another door has to open for you. Now, just because the door opens doesn't mean you're going to do anything with that open door. You have to know how to walk through that door, and you have to know what to do when you walk through that door. And that's, as I said, breaking all of your sections down. We've got 10 sections, breaking each one down with subsections to where you understand what you got to improve on. Every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. When you have that mentality in your brain, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to do it. I've got my feet in concrete mud right now. I'm not toe dipping anymore. I'm going to learn this here. When you start saying that to yourself, you're going to start learning more. You're going to start retaining more, because now you've made a conscious decision that this is what you're going to do. Sometimes you almost got to make a contract with yourself. Say, okay, starting today at 11 o'clock, the other companies I'll work for, the other carriers I'll work for, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of that ability with me. Yet what I'm going to do is I'm not going to try to think about those old underwriting, because I've got different carriers. Some carriers say if you got COPD, you're graded or you're modified. We've got carriers that will give you immediate benefits. You had a client of yours that had a heart attack 13 months ago. Your old company says modified. We say we got a company that'll give you immediate benefits. So what you need to do, you need to go to the carrier placement guide if underwriting is not your strength, and start looking through that there. You're going to say, you know something, Joe? I didn't realize, I forgot we had a company that does immediate benefits if you had a heart attack 13 months ago. Transamerica, Americo Eagle. So if you don't have those two carriers, get with Jay. Okay? You got a client of yours who has COPD, emphysema. We got carriers for that there. Go to the carrier placement guide, look it up, get with Jay. He'll send it to you, get yourself signed up for it. Because what has happened before is that when I first started, we had just brought Transamerica on. I had no idea about COPD and emphysema, had no idea about it because we never had it before. So I went to this lady's house, I'm talking to her, because all we had at the time was a carrier that gave us only a graded benefit. That's all we had. We had no immediate benefits. I'm going back 100 years ago. So this lady says, yeah, I just got Transamerica.
And I got, yeah, I got immediate benefits. I said, no, you didn't. I said, you got COPD. You're not gonna BS the kid. Come on. So I said, how about getting me the policy? I want to look at it for you. So I'm sitting in the chair. I'm saying she's gonna make a mistake. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come in with a lower premium instead of doing a return of premium plus 10. I'm gonna give her a 30, 70, 100. And I said, I got this wrapped up. She brings the application out, the policy out. Look in the application. I go, damn, I didn't know if you answered just one question in that section, you can get a standard immediate. So I had to get that carrier for the mere fact is I've had other clients that had that issue. So you got to start remembering the clients you've had, make notes on the lead, and always call me, call your manager, call Jay, call Heather, call somebody to find out what carriers you need. I didn't learn this thing in 2 weeks or 2 months. Every day that goes by, I'm getting a little smarter, I'm getting more knowledgeable, I'm tweaking my presentation, I'm learning this stuff here. So when you guys call me and say, Joe, I've got this situation, what it does is stimulates my mind. I go to the office, I've got everything right behind me, I'm looking this stuff up. So what it does, it keeps me in track as well. So with that said, I'll let you guys go. Divide your presentation from the start to the finish into the categories that you feel that are necessary. From there, get subcategories within those categories and start learning. Practice by listening to what you sound like. Record yourself. You're going to be amazed what that one little recording is going to do to open your eyes up to see if you're talking too fast, if you're interrupting, if you're not answering the question, if you're not making a good transition, all of this stuff here. Because what happens is that you're the student, you're the teacher, you're the janitor, you're the doggone, you're everything in one. So to get better, you need to put your head in the game, work harder, and say, today's the day that I'm going to start doing better. With that said, guys, I appreciate your hard work. Make it a great day. You got any questions, give me a call. And as always, be safe. Bye-bye. Let me see if I can go, please.